Hey, Travis Waits here, talking about change. And when we talk about change, this is what really trips a lot of people up. Oftentimes we set goals, we have great intentions, but we don't end up keeping them or following through with them. And the reason for that is not because our intentions aren't good, and it's not because our goal is necessarily unrealistic, but it's because of how we go about setting and achieving that goal. You know, I've heard it said that when an ocean liner in the middle of the sea. It takes a long time to turn a ship around, often miles for a whole ship to turn around, because a very small part of that ship, just the rudder itself, is actually implementing that change. Well, the same thing with personal change as well as organizational change, especially at the leadership level. You know, if leadership is influence, then part of that influence absolutely needs to be knowing yourself well enough to bite off enough pieces or smaller, let's say bite-sized chunks of change for leadership's sake. So when you implement even a small change, just let's say you did one thing different today, and you maintain doing that one thing different over the next 7 days. Well, let's say you added to that in a week from now another thing different. So now you're making these incremental shifts. Instead of staying stuck, instead of being where you're at today and setting that long-term goal, and then not knowing how to get between where you're at today and that longer-term goal, that gap, really that's the gap of what we call an impact gap. And so smaller changes incrementally add up, or they snowball over time. Studies and research suggest that smaller changes tend to be accepted more and be way more impactful than a broader change. The system, if you will, is more adaptable. So if you influence change in one part of the system, let's say even from an organizational standpoint, the employees just change one thing that they do, it can lead to broad-scale impact across a company. Let's say every member of an office supply chain store does a better job at their record keeping, and so there's less waste, less return of damaged goods or whatnot. So exponentially, those smaller changes from each employee doing a little bit better job incrementally increases the bottom line because there's less waste, and ends up saving a company millions of dollars across the whole corporation. Same thing personally. When we set goals, oftentimes we see where we're at today and we see something lofty and farther away from where we want to get. And so the only way actually to get there is to break that into digestible wholes. So in your next 7 days, what's one thing that you can do different to lead to a lasting impact? And I challenge you to just do one thing different, even over the next day or two. Share with me your thoughts about that and let me know how it goes. Check me out on my website. As always, love to check in with you and hope that you have a great day. Bye-bye.